Hey everybody, it's Chris right here. Now what I want to tell you today, the message I want to give you today is remove this word from your vocabulary. Impossible. Impossible destroys all your hopes, all your dreams, all your motivation. There's nothing impossible in this world. Everything is possible for you. You just have to find the right formula. Everybody you see in this world, a fitness model, a beautiful woman, I don't know, whatever your wishes are, whatever you see in your mind, you want to stop drinking, you want to stop smoking, you want to drive a good car, you want to build a house, you want to grow rich, you want to, whatever your wishes are is possible. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. It's up to you to believe it. Believe it's possible for you to be what you want to be healthy, to stop eating junk food, to get rich, to get a better job, to get a job, to not get a job and be an entrepreneur, to open up your own business. Anything is possible. So remember this. Remove that word from your vocabulary. Impossible. That's destruction. That is a killer. When somebody tells you it's impossible, deny it. Deny it. Tell them, no, it's possible for me. Let me give you a little story about myself. When I was young, in my country, Uganda, I was young. I was very young, and I was like, I don't know, I could have been 8 years old, and we had classes. You'd be in like primary 1, primary 2, primary 3, up to primary 7, and around primary 3, 4, the teacher said, the teachers told my mother, this boy has a problem with attention. He can't learn well. So they wanted me to repeat a class. They wanted me to repeat primary 4. I don't know why, I don't know how. God just gave me this strength, and I denied it. I said, I'm not going to repeat primary 4. I'm not going to repeat primary 4. The next year, my mother got my reports and everything, and they told my mother, no, this boy, he has to repeat primary 4. He has to repeat primary 4. He's not going to primary 5, So the next year I went to school, and they put me in primary 4. And I looked around me and I saw unfamiliar faces, and I was like, this is not where I'm supposed to be. I stood up, got my books, went straight to primary 5. Primary 5, the teachers looked at me like, you don't belong here, I'm in a class that I don't belong to. Everybody was looking at me like, bro, what are you doing there? They didn't use the word bro, but there was like, what is this kid doing here? He doesn't belong here, So they tried kicking me out. They put me at the door, you're not getting in. You have to go back to primary 4. You're not getting in primary 5. My mind was made up. My mind was made up. I stayed at that door for a week. I didn't move. Whenever all the students of primary 5 went in, I went in the class like I belonged. I got a seat like everybody. They came to a moment where they took away the chairs from the class so that there were exactly the number of chairs the students had to be in the class, that belonged in the class. So I had nowhere to sit. So I met somebody, I met a friend. I met friends who started sharing chairs with me. So you put one butt cheek on one side and I put one butt cheek on one side. I was so motivated. I convinced the whole class I belonged there. And guess what? The teachers had no choice. You know, the teachers had no choice. You know, I paid the school fees. I didn't pay. My parents paid the school fees. So they couldn't send me away from school, you know. They had no choice but to let me go through primary 5. Guess what? I passed. I passed. I passed the class. And they were all, okay, I didn't pass like with flying colors. I didn't pass with the A's and B's, you know. But I passed my classes. And I went into primary 6. Primary 7 was also the same problem. They told me, you can't enter primary 7, boy. They didn't use boy, but they said, you can't enter primary 7. You can't spell. You can't spell. You know how I spelled? And they did this. They gave me a test. I had to spell the word meat. Yeah? Meat, like eating meat. So I spelled it M-E-E-T because my father always told me the way it sounds is the way you spell it. So I spelled meat like meat. Meat, M-E-E-T. It had to be M-A-T. Damn, the class laughed at me. But I was so motivated. I was so motivated. I stayed in that class. I looked at the teacher. I wasn't afraid. I don't know why. I don't know how God Almighty gave me the strength. He gave me the strength to stay motivated in what I believe and what I believe I deserve, in what I believe in, because I believed 100% I deserved primary 5, I deserved primary 7. I'm not going to stay behind while I see my friends go. I'm not going to stay behind and watch. I did it. I stayed in primary 7, and the teachers hated me. They looked at me like I didn't belong there. And remember, this is an all-black class. I'm not talking about white people, all this discrimination happening and everything. This is an all-black class. They looked at me like I didn't belong there. And I was so motivated to stay on my path. I don't believe in nothing is possible or it's impossible. I don't believe those words because I stuck to it when I was young. I stuck to what I believe in when I was young. And when after a while, they had to let me pass primary 7. They had to let me pass primary 7. And remember, they didn't let me pass. I passed the class because they couldn't let you pass. You had to do the tests, you had to read, you had to do all the curriculums, the sports, everything you had to do to pass that class. And I passed that class. I struggled to get in, but once I was in to the end. Primary 5, primary 7. See, I can go on giving these examples, and let me know in the comments if you want me to make a clear video about giving all these examples. But I don't believe in it's not possible. I don't believe I can't do it. I don't believe in no, it's not possible. No, I can't believe that. You have to believe it. You have to believe it. If you believe it, it's possible. If you believe that job you want, if you believe that alcohol you want to stop it. You believe you want to stop it. You believe you want to stop smoking. You believe it, you know. Believe it and it will happen. Yeah? Believe it and it will happen, you know. So since then, I've had this belief in myself. If I wanted something, you know, if I wanted something, I go get it. You know, if I want something that bad, I'll go get it. I'll go get it and nothing is going to stop me. You know, I've got jobs I wanted and found out I didn't want them. You know, had to go back to where I was just to reprogram myself. You know, I've got, you know, you get things that you think you want, but at the end, it's not what you want. You get in relationships with a person you think you love, but it's not what you want. I was an alcoholic. I smoked weed. You know, you get in these things as a young child, as a young, growing up as young, You know, you go get in these things, you know, you get in these situations you think you like, but they're not yours. And remember, those situations always change. Those situations can't change. Those situations are not made for you to stay in. If that's not what you believe in, if that's not what you want, you can get out of it. Always remember that. And stay blessed, you know. Stay blessed. I gotta end it right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with anybody that can help. Peace.